What do cowboys, the birth of surfing in the USA, and this adobe building have in common? Hawaiian royalty, of course. Let's begin in Hawaii back in 1793, when the King Kamehameha the Great was given a gift by Captain George Vancouver. It was a gift of bulls from Monterey. Now these bulls liked Hawaii, and they multiplied rapidly, much as they had throughout California during the spread of the colonial missions. On the islands, the cattle began to wreak havoc though, trampling gardens and eating thatch rooftops. In California, the vaqueros managed the roaming cattle. Indigenous, Mexican, Spanish cowboys were highly skilled at riding, at herding, and throwing the reata. Among them, Joaquin Armas was raised with those skills, but he was planning a different career in Britain when he took sail on the whaling ship the Harriet in 1831. But when the Harriet stopped en route at Oahu, the Hawaiian king, Kamehameha III, boarded the ship. Having heard of some fiddlers aboard, imagine his surprise to meet somebody with the capabilities to manage cows, perhaps his bulls. Although not his original plan, the king persuaded Joaquin to stay and work in Hawaii. Joaquin went to work and was later joined by his brother Felipe and several other California vaqueros. On the islands, they got the bulls under control and made quite a splash on the scene. Riding horseback with swagger, dressed in velvet pantaloons and tight-fitting jackets, shiny buttons, wide-brimmed hats, Hawaiians soon adopted the fashions and mastered those skills, and thus the Paniolo tradition of Hawaiian cowboys was born. Paniolo coming from the Hawaiian pronunciation of Espanola. Felipe returned to California first and opened a store in Santa Cruz selling merchandise from around the Pacific Rim, merchandise that Joaquin was shipping to him from Hawaii. Felipe used some of those funds to purchase this building and these rooms and expand the adobe into a 2-story building. Santa Cruz was a small provincial town in this day, but in this era it became more sophisticated due to the influx of goods from around the world. Just a couple of years later, another Hawaiian royal, Antoinette Oconee Swan, and her husband Lyman were fleeing Hawaii to escape his charges of forgery and embezzlement. Where did they land? Santa Cruz, of course. Oconee had retained her family ties though, and hosted her 3 nephews when they came from the islands to attend military school in San Mateo. Edward, David, and Cupid, as he was known, they were princes, and when they arrived, they made quite a splash on the scene. Riding around on their high-wheeled bikes with swagger, dressed in tight-fitted gray school uniforms, feather leis as their headbands. Then they took it one step further. They hired a local sawyer to mill redwood into the shape of surfboards, 3 long olu boards associated with Hawaiian royalty. And they undertook the first surf sesh on the continent at the mouth of the San Lorenzo River in the summer of 1885. Santa Cruzans went wild at the sight, like quick studies the Hawaiians were, turning vaquero feats into the Paniolo tradition. Santa Cruz youth were soon riding the waves in emulation of the prince's surf swimming, and within a decade, they were launching the California surf phenomenon from the little town of Santa Cruz.